Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alexey, and today I have a special guest, Diva Satanica of extreme metal band Bloodhunter. In our today's interview with Diva Satanica, we're going to be talking about brand new single of Bloodhunter, which is called The Outspoken. It's a huge honor to have you on my YouTube channel today, Diva. And let's start our interview. How you became a singer?
It's a long story. The fact is that I always knew that I wanted to be involved into the music industry, but I didn't have the skills, So I started working for some music magazines as a journalist, and I started writing reviews about some albums, and then I started to attend some shows to write the live reports, and that's how I started to experience how it is to be part of the scene. And from then on, I met Dani Arcos, which is a founder member of Bloodhunter. He has this side project that ended up being Bloodhunter. And he had working with several musicians, but he knew that I loved extreme metal. And he asked me to write some kind of lyrics for one of the songs, and I accepted, of course. And the next step was just showing up in the rehearsal room. That was a mess. My first time there, it was horrible. I spent all the time looking to the wall. I was so embarrassed because I didn't know what to do. But he had a lot of patience with me. He asked me to take some vocal lessons, to keep on studying and learning, and here I
am. My next question is how you got into metal music as a vocalist, but you already said that you loved always extreme music. So why extreme music? Why extreme vocals instead of ordinary clean female vocals?
Actually, I tried, but I was not very happy with the result. I tried clean singing, but I tried to take some lessons actually, but I was very uncomfortable with that. It's very difficult. I have to say, I feel a huge respect for all the other vocalists because you have a lot of things to be worried about, to stay in the right tune, to do the right modulation, to know where you should place a voice. It's super delicate and difficult for me. So I never stopped taking lessons. And now I feel much more confident about that. But it was not like my place. I discovered Holy Moses a million years ago, thanks to the beginnings of YouTube. I found this live video from some kind of festival. And when I saw Sabina Klassen singing like that, I started to think maybe I could do that. And later on, my very first show with a female vocalist doing extreme metal music was Arch Enemy with Angela Gosso. So that was shocking. That was this is real. Real women can do this. So I felt so inspired and I started practicing. So that was my first attempt to mimic something like that,
How do you work on your extreme vocal technique, and what helps you to develop your extreme vocal technique?
Actually, in the beginning, I thought that it would be enough if I knew about all the extreme metal techniques for singing, but I was very wrong, and I had to start working on the basic stuff for any singer, whatever genre you practice, and that was the key. So I've been taking vocal lessons since I don't remember because I had many different vocal teachers, but since 2018 I continue with the same teacher, which is Patricia Tapia. She is a super talented and famous singer here in Spain and Latin America. She was the singer in Mago de Oz, which is huge in the Latin market. And she's amazing. She's one of the most incredible voices that I've ever heard. She can do everything. And the most important thing for me, she doesn't do extreme metal, but she understands how it works. What do I need to keep improving my technique? And that saved me. That made all the difference. So from when I started to work with her, I had to work in many different registers to understand the anatomy, to learn some warming up exercises, to work on my diaphragm, which is the base for all the extreme metal techniques. And thanks to that, I could improve a lot. So along the years, so I think that was it. Combining taking vocal lessons, doing some exercise also because you need a lot of strength and resistance, and the typical things like having a good sleep, being well nurtured and hydrated, and being in peace of mind. It's very important too.
How you joined Bloodhunter?
Yeah, it was something kind of unexpected. I was very lucky indeed because they trust me, let's try. And it was amazing because that was my very first attempt to be in a metal band. That was my very first time singing. So yeah, I was super lucky to stay until today. And that was something like I said before, Dani has this project, like a side project where he was writing music aside from other music projects and bands that he was working with at that time. And he knew that I loved extreme metal, philosophy, occultism. So he asked me to write some lyrics for a song. And then I joined the rehearsal room and we recorded our first demo in 2013. It was only him, me, and one bass player. And we recorded that demo in order to find a drummer because it was very difficult, to find somebody that wanted to join the project without any song recorded, without knowing which kind of music we were about to do. And yeah, that's why it mainly started. We had many different changes in the lineup, many different versions. But I think from the beginning until today, we just evolved to, from something super dark. We didn't know exactly which was our field. We never stick to a genre, but we've been playing around with some groove sounds, some melodic depth, some more technical stuff until today.
How your drums recorded for the Outspoken single?
We changed that a lot because in the beginning, I'm talking about probably 15 years ago or so, everyone was recording everything in the studio, but nowadays it's very different because you don't need to spend so much time or effort and money in doing that. Although we still record drums and vocals in a real studio because we feel like it's important to take care of these two instruments, which requires like a lot of attention, concentration, to check from time to time if there's any mistake. So we believe that many eyes are better than only the person who plays the instrument. So Adrian Perales is a drummer. He recorded drums in Sadman Studios in the north of Spain with our very dear friend and amazing sound engineer, Carlos Santos. And he worked with us for the previous album also called Knowledge Was a Prize, and we were super happy with the results. So we took like 2 weeks, 1 week and a half, I should say. And we went there and he recorded drums in the morning. I recorded vocals in the late evening, afternoon. And after that, we sent the master to Tue Madsen, which is super already known in the music business. He has worked with a lot of amazing bands that we love as Meshuggah, Mushpo. And we always had this dream to work with him. So we finally made it. And we are super happy with the final result.
How was Bass Tone created for the Outspoken single?
With these new songs that we've been releasing, we wanted to switch and have a kind of different sound or, explore something different. So, about guitars and bass, we always record this in our home studio and we send the mix later to the producer, Tue Madsen. But we've been practicing with different gear, plugins, different stuff until we found something that we thought that it would be the right thing to do. It took a lot of time. That was the most stressful part at all because, as a musician, you like some kind of stuff, but probably this at some point couldn't fit with the whole mix. And you need to adapt and reshape everything to make it fit all together. So it was hard in the beginning, but once we had this, we think we found like the right path.
How your guitars recorded for the Outspoken single, and in this case, you mentioned that you used different plugins, and if you used some plugins for recording guitars, so which plugins you're using for recording guitars, or what analog gear did you use for recording guitars?
So here we have this duality, right? Because we have two guitar players. One of them, Guillermo Starless, comes from the hard rock scene, and he is super old school. He loves like having a real amp and super high volume and super fast solos, but with a lot of technique. And he is always like in the side. But our founder member, Dani, he loves just the opposite. He is a defender of digital sound. He works with FM3 from a long time ago because that allows you to travel. You cannot go on tour with amps nowadays. It's crazy. It's super expensive to carry everything, especially if you go by plane. It's impossible. So, you have this tiny thing that you can carry in your luggage, and you just take it with you everywhere. And that's why I was in the beginning, they spend a lot of months working on their own sound, because as you know, you can play with different amps. You have like these prototypes, and you can try and switch which one you prefer. I prefer Marshall, I prefer another one. And they've been playing around just to make something unique that you could define as only your own sound. About plugins, honestly, I don't know. I don't know, because that's their thing, But when we record all the songs first in our home studio to have like this previous demo, to work and change some parts and whatever, they've been working with Cubase and Pro Tools and stuff like that. So they have, this huge knowledge of, this is my instrument, this is how I want it to sound. And yeah, I think when you have been playing for so long, you have like this strong idea of what do you want in your mind, So I think it's a cool mix between the old school world and the digital and the nowadays sound.
How was your vocal recorded for the Outspoken single? What microphones did you use for recording of your vocals?
In our home studio, we always use like the SM7B from Shure. But in the real studio, when we write with the demos there, from the previous album, I think Carlos always used two microphones all together, stick to each other. I don't remember the brand, but it's something like he was crazy about it. He was super excited, like, look, I have this new microphone. You have to try it. Everyone in the business is doing this, working with two microphones all together. And I thought it would be something pretty cool to try. And from the previous album to these new songs, we've been working like that. I don't remember the brand. I'm super horrible for that. But, it was very cool because he was taking care of that. I'm not very picky with that kind of things, I know that the Shure SM7B works cool for recording stuff, but I agree also with those people that think that that's better for, speech or recording some kind of stuff like more speaking instead of singing, because it's kind of flat. And yeah, that's why I accepted their suggestion. And he was right.
Can you please tell me about your experience of working with Tue Madsen?
Well, it was huge for us, because as I said before, we always wanted to work with him, but we were not sure about if it was too much for us, because we're not a huge band. We've been working super hard and never worked with such a big producer. So we had in mind something like, okay, we don't want to be super ridiculous, we wanted to bring something very cool and professional, and that requires a lot of hard work and paying attention to the details, sending everything perfectly according to his requirements. So in the beginning, we were kind of scared, like, maybe he takes the songs and then say something like, this is not okay. But I think we did a good job. And it was super easy to work with him because the communication was especially very fluid. And yeah, that helped a lot. When you work with something with such a huge career, sometimes people just don't answer super fast and makes the whole process kind of tedious. But with him, it was pretty nice, and I'm sure we will work in the future with him again.
When it comes to mixing and mastering, who is responsible for revisions or final decisions? How, for instance, the Outspoken single mix and master should sound a band or a sound engineer? So in this case, you entirely trusted to Tue Madsen about the final mix and master, or did you have your own visions and your own revisions to his mix and master?
I think when you decide to work with someone like him, you know that he has he is right. After all, so we have our own vision, but we always have been super open-minded, and we take very seriously what professional people tell us, So of course, we had different revisions of the sound and the mixes, and we had the chance to speak with him look, we would like this in this way or this in this way. We already previously discuss with him how many revisions we could have. Is there any chance that the band can explain our opinion or talk about what we prefer or what we would like? And he was very open-minded, and so it was this balance between what he knows what to do and what we would want it to have with these new songs. And that's amazing, because sometimes when you work with such a huge presence in the business, not everyone is, open to have a band having their own opinion on what they do. So I think it's not about the ego itself. It's more about, look, this is our identity. We would love to preserve that, but we know that we could improve if we accept your suggestions on what we're doing. So if you find someone that accept that, and the own band has, this criticism or self-criticism, everything is much better.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful interview. It was a huge pleasure talking to you. And thank you so much for your wonderful music of Bloodhunter, and of course for your wonderful cover of Gangster's Paradise, which sounds amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Thank you.
The best cover ever in metal industry. The best metal cover ever, And thank you so much for your wonderful voice, because you really have a wonderful extreme female metal voice, and I wish you all the success in this world about your wonderful music and about your wonderful music career.
Much. You're so kind. Thank you. I wish we could go very soon to play these songs live everywhere and hopefully meet you somewhere. So take care. Thank you. And thank you for having me today.